What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, yesterday I was talking to my mom and she had a day, probably a couple weeks, and she asked me, "What is in the water?" Common sense is not happening. What in the world is going on? What is in the water? And she wanted me to ask y'all the question, what is in the water? So tell mama in the chat what's in the water. Guys, Quita in the morning starts right now.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
Richard Blumenthal issued a warning to the WNBA today to stay out of Connecticut's negotiations for the Sun.
The WNBA is potentially abusing its considerable governance and market power in seeking to block and interfere with Connecticut's efforts to keep the Connecticut Sun in Connecticut. Kinds of interference that we're seeing from the WNBA, it's blocking and obstructing potentially the state of Connecticut in these well-founded efforts to keep the franchise here, could well be a violation of the antitrust laws.
Okay, so we're gonna start off talking about what in the world is going on with the Connecticut Sun. What in the world, guys? What in the world? And here's the thing. We're just going to go point by point. We're going to do a deeper dive into the Connecticut Sun because the Connecticut Sun is the state of Connecticut's lone major league pro team. And it's one of the WNBA's most consistent franchises. The team is suddenly the hottest property in the market right now. And after 22 seasons, 22 years in Uncasville, the Mohegan Tribe has put the team up for sale. It's available for purchase. And the result has led to a bidding war that has turned into a political showdown, guys. You got fans that are very emotional about this whole thing. We got billionaires that are circling the wagon trying to see how they can get into the WNBA. We have now U.S. senators and state lawmakers publicly battling the WNBA itself. This is uncharted territory, guys. We've never really seen something like this before. We've never seen the sale of a WNBA team franchise be so tangled up with so much political and economical heat. So, what is really happening, guys? What is going on? Well, we got to talk about it, okay? So, first of all, the question is, why are the Connecticut Sun on the market to begin with? Well, since 2003, the Mohegan Tribe has owned the Connecticut Sun and running them out of Mohegan Sun Arena. The team has thrived in a lot of ways, right? They've made it to the semifinals, I believe, 6 straight times before this year? This is a team that has a very loyal fan base, and it's a team that built, say it with me, a family, right? Lots of people have made it a tradition to go to Connecticut Sun games, even though for some people, the games may be 10 miles away, maybe 20 miles away, maybe 30 miles away. They make the trek for every home game to support this team. And the team is the source of pride for Connecticut. Connecticut calls themselves the basketball capital of the world. Did you know that? Yeah, I didn't realize that that's what they call themselves. But if they lose their sole pro team, what kind of basketball capital is it really? Not much of a basketball capital, right? And so we continue on. On the business side, things are changing in the WNBA. The WNBA has grown. Expansion fees has jumped to $250 million. And the Mohegan Tribe decided that, you know what, now is about time to possibly cash out. So, cue the offers. We have 4 offers currently on the table for the Connecticut Sun. And I want to go through each one, talk through them with you all. Okay? I want to talk through them. Actually, first up, one second. One second, guys. All right. First up, we have Boston. Former Boston Celtics minority owner Steve Pagliuca has offered $325 million with plans to move the team to Boston permanently and build a new facility. That was the first offer that was at least publicly on the table, is Boston. All right, the team has played so far two years in a row. They've had a game in Boston at TD Garden Arena, and it was sold out, right? Big fanfare around that. People loved it. So Boston, of course, was like, hey, yeah, sure. We'll buy the Connecticut Sun. We'll give you $325 million. How does that sound, Mohegan Tribe? How does that sound? Then we heard word of Hartford getting in it. Marc Lasry, the former co-owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. You see the NBA tie here and there, even though these are former people, but still NBA tie. He was like, you know what? Hey, I want the team to stay in Connecticut. So how about this? I'm gonna match Boston's offer. I'm gonna match that offer and give you all $325 million. I'm gonna pledge to keep the team in Connecticut. And we're going to play at the new People's Bank Arena that's downtown in Hartford, Connecticut. And that was the deal that was like, oh, team could stay in Connecticut, because before that, we weren't really thinking about the possibility of the Connecticut Sun staying the Connecticut Sun. We thought they could move to Boston, eventually have a new name, all that jazz. But Hartford became a real option. And then the WNBA was like, well, remember, guys, you got to get permission from us to go anywhere. So Boston, Hartford, How about Mohegan Tribe? How about you all sell the team to us, sell the team to the WNBA, and we will actually, instead of giving you $325 million, actually let's give you $250 million. $250 million, you can have it. That's how much we believe this team is worth. $250 is yours. Yes, sure, it's significantly lower than what you can get for the Hartford deal or for the Boston deal. But we're the WNBA. You have to go through us anyway, right? So just because you get more money somewhere else does not mean we're going to allow you to sell. And the WNBA, the reason for them wanting to buy it is because they want to buy it and then give it to their preferred market team. Think Houston. Houston, likely, if the WNBA actually ends up buying the Connecticut Sun, they will more than likely sell the team to Houston. All right. And now we have another offer on the table. And that offer, my friends, is a little bit interesting. Let's get to it.
This interest by the state of Connecticut itself to actually take a minority stake alongside the Mohegan Tribe. That's been picking up steam this week, and I can report to you tonight that the state is considering using its pension funds as the vehicle for that investment.
There are now, two alternate paths to keep the team in Hartford.
Connecticut leaders are united in their desire to see the Sun stay in the state, and now many of them are actively promoting a novel path to do just that. The state is putting itself forward as a potential investor after ESPN reported that the WNBA rebuffed a private investor group led by a Connecticut billionaire. The question of how the state government could become a part owner in a pro basketball team is still being worked through.
Deal is being constantly changed because we are in discussions with all the interested parties to try to figure out what offer is going to be acceptable to everybody to keep the team in Connecticut.
Multiple sources have told News 8 that one concept under discussion is an investment in the team through the state's multi-billion-dollar pension funds. That minority investment scenario could see the Sun play some of their home games at the arena in Hartford and perhaps practicing in a new multi-million-dollar facility financed by the state and built in the capital city's downtown. Sources stress that no deal has been inked, and the Mohegans themselves explicitly told us that no agreement has been reached. One thing everyone in Connecticut does seem to be willing to say is that the state that has branded itself the world's basketball capital deserves a pro team of its own.
This game would not be what it is today if it weren't for the state of Connecticut. We're proud of that history. We'll fight for that history.
Yeah, so you all heard that. The state of Connecticut is proposing a plan where the state itself becomes a minority owner, minority partner with the Mohegan Tribe, and it would allow the team to stay in Connecticut. Because ultimately, the Mohegan Tribe has basically admitted that they are unable to keep up with the Joneses in the WNBA without either fully selling the team or some additional investment in the team. And so the state of Connecticut is thinking, they're like, pension funds. Why don't we, because pension health has been such a great thing in the United States, where states have been able to invest pension funds wisely and ultimately be able to make payouts, right? Pension funds are not an issue in the United States, right? Like, I feel like that seems to always be a thing. But they're like, hey, we have money through our pension fund. So why don't we become a minority owner? We will give cash to the Mohegan Tribe. We will build a practice facility, and the team will be able to stay primarily at Mohegan while adding some games in Hartford with a new practice facility in Hartford. Now, I gotta say, so that's the facts of like what's going on. You all saw the news report. Just a real quick thing. I think that's the worst plan of this whole thing. I think that is the worst plan. I would rather the WNBA buy the team and then sell it to Houston than for pension fund money to be used to buy ownership into a sports team. I think that is a disaster. Sure, will they make money from the investment? Yeah, sure. But at the same time, I'm of the mind that like public resources, public funds are not meant for stuff like this. Because what happens if stuff fails? Now pension fund money is at risk. Not a fan of this. I think that's a terrible idea. Like I really do appreciate the efforts and the care, but no. I'm not a fan of the pension idea. I'm really not. Okay, so let's continue, guys. here's the thing, guys. You know, this is an interesting time for Connecticut Sun fans, right? There's been surveys that have gone out to fans, and, you know, a huge amount of fans said they would happily drive to Hartford to go to games. And barely anybody said they'd be willing to go. It was like things like less than 20% or something like that said that they would be willing to go to Boston for games. These are current Connecticut Sun fans in Connecticut. Many people see the Connecticut Sun as their team. It's a direct link to, a direct sort of pro link to UConn's women's basketball dynasty. And it's a rare major league presence in the state of Connecticut. The fear is that a Boston relocation would cut current fans out. And if the WNBA forces a Houston move, well, New England could lose the only pro sports team that they have. So, where in the world does the WNBA stand on this? Where are we going from here? Well, we're in a little bit of a pickle of sorts when it comes to the WNBA and when it comes to the situation. Because the controversial part, the interesting part, is the league does not seem to be interested in either Boston or Hartford. Instead, the WNBA wants to control the sale entirely. They want to offer the Tribe less money in exchange for moving the franchise to a city it prefers. Reports point to Houston because, you know, it's their owner, Tillman Ferretta, is someone who wants a team. And remember, Houston had a team before. The ownership group decided they didn't want it anymore, and then, you know, the Houston Comets basically ceased to exist. That's a thing. It's very, very, very interesting. Now, the decision for the WNBA to sort of drag their feet on this whole thing has infuriated. How can I not say that word? Oh my God, what is going on with me? Anyway, it has made Connecticut mad. Not just Connecticut residents, not just fans of the Connecticut Sun, but it has even garnered the attention of politicians. Because the question was, like, hey, why are you blocking a record-setting $325 million bid? Especially one that keeps the team in the state, only to offer $75 million less. So, politicians enter the chat. This is where things have gotten a little bit unprecedented, in my opinion. Politicians, basically at every level in Connecticut, are calling out the league. You all saw the clip I put at the beginning of the stream, where you heard directly from Richard Blumenthal. This is like a serious thing. This is a surprising thing, guys. Richard Blumenthal actually penned a letter to WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. In his letter, Richard Blumenthal is saying, hey, I need you to be warned. You are warned, and I actually want to give us the opportunity to actually read the letter that he wrote to the WNBA, because I think it's very, very interesting, and I want us to see what he wrote, and then talk about it on the other side, because I do think that what is happening right now truly is unprecedented, guys. Like, this is not normal. This is not normal for a sale of a team to get this much attention. But, guys, we're not in normal times anymore. Things have changed, times have changed, and the WNBA is bigger business than we once thought. So I want us to go through this real quick. All right, so this is officially on Richard Blumenthal's website. He is the U.S. Senator for the WNBA, and he wrote, here, let's get to it. All right, he wrote, "Dear Commissioner Engelbert, I write regarding the Women's National Basketball Association reported interference in the Mohegan Tribe's negotiations with competing bidders for the ownership of the Connecticut Sun women's basketball team, and to warn that any attempts by the WNBA to block efforts to keep the Connecticut Sun in Connecticut could violate federal antitrust laws. For more than 20 years, the Connecticut Sun has been a cornerstone of the state's sports identity, hosting world-class professional women's basketball in a state with a long tradition of basketball excellence. Under two decades of leadership by the Mohegan Tribe, the Sun has become consistently one of the league's most commercially successful teams and developed a loyal fan base with strong regional support. In a growing league, the Connecticut Sun has stood out among its peers, and that support is increasing as the Sun has sold out 2025 season tickets, the first time in franchise history. After the Mohegan Tribe entertained offers to sell the team, the WNBA used its league governance powers to block proposals that would keep the team in New England, instead seeking to move it thousands of miles from its fan base to cities such as Cleveland or Houston. Unwilling to relent from its opposition, the WNBA then sought to strong-arm the Mohegan Tribe with a $250 million offer to purchase the team itself, far below previously disclosed $325 million offers, in order to control the sale for its own purposes. Proud of the Sun's storied history of community involvement, this month, the state of Connecticut has stepped in to resolve the matter and propose to acquire minority ownership in the team under an arrangement that would split time between its current home, Uncasville, and Hartford. Connecticut's proposal would value the team at more than the WNBA's offer, with the proposal to build a new practice facility and play in People's Bank Arena, ensuring that the Sun could easily grow further and achieve an even greater attendance than the 2024 league average. He goes on to continue to say, Hartford has already demonstrated the ability to draw fans, notably hosting both the UConn men's and women's basketball games, two of the most successful college basketball programs in the country, as well as NCAA tournament games. Furthermore, relocating the team out of Connecticut would leave New England without a WNBA team and disrupt the stability and growth the Connecticut Sun have achieved over the years in the state, which has made it the successful franchise it has become. The state of Connecticut's proposal fully ensures the continued commercial and professional success of the Connecticut Sun and addresses the reported expansion concerns of the WNBA. Any further attempts by the WNBA to use its considerable governance and market power over the Connecticut Sun to limit or dictate negotiations with the state of Connecticut could be a unreasonable restraint of trade and interference with the market that would violate federal antitrust laws. As a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, which has jurisdiction over antitrust matters, I am closely monitoring the WNBA's actions and will demand investigations and enforcement actions from the appropriate federal authorities if it takes any step to hinder or constrain Connecticut's negotiations. I strongly urge the WNBA to refrain from any further actions that would interfere with the state of Connecticut's efforts to keep the Sun where it belongs, in Connecticut. Thank you for your attention to this important matter. Sincerely, Richard Blumenthal. Wow. And here's the thing, guys. The reason why I wanted to read this is because I think it's truly, truly important. Because Richard Blumenthal is basically saying, hey, I'm a U.S. Senator. I am on the Judiciary Committee in the Senate. And I think you may be breaking the laws if you continue. So WNBA, consider this your warning. That's what this letter was. This letter was a stop messing with Connecticut letter. That's what this was. That's 100% what this was. And when it comes to the antitrust thing, well, this may not actually violate any antitrust laws. Here is what a expert has to say on the matter.
However, University of New Haven sport management professor Rob Hullab says the ways in which sports are governed are much different than how businesses are governed, and antitrust allegations will likely not hold up.
You need a little bit of control over that versus having it a free-for-all like American business, right? So it's purposely restrained because you promote and because it's technically entertainment, therefore nothing holds weight.
So, yeah. Richard Blumenthal thinks that this may be breaking the law. I believe he's a Connecticut professor, thinks that it's not the same thing. Sports is not governed the same way as regular business. And so, yeah. So I wanted to just share that because while I wanted to share what Richard Blumenthal said, I also wanted to share that like it may not be as clear cut of a antitrust violation. So something to note. But still, in Richard Blumenthal's letter, he warned that the league could be violating antitrust laws by interfering with the sale. He even hinted at pushing for an investigation. Right. We've heard from, Senator Chris Murphy, who's upset about this as a thing for, he's upset about the whole thing and the fact that the WNBA may be trying to steal the team from Connecticut at a bargain price. We know that Attorney General William Tong is closely monitoring the situation and doesn't like what's happening. Governor Ned Lamont wants to back Marc Lasry's Hartford bid, and he wants to make sure that Connecticut keeps a team in the WNBA. And I also did just want to note that like there are state senators and other state officials that are pushing back on the deal I talked about earlier with the pension fund thing. They really don't like that. And so, yeah, that's the thing. Bottom line here is that for the most part, not to get political, but it's obvious, for the most part, both Democrats and Republicans in Connecticut seem to want to ensure that that the team stays in Connecticut, but not everybody agrees on how to pay for it and whether or not the states should actually be involved specifically. But everyone seems to agree on one thing, that the Connecticut Sun should stay in Connecticut. So, yeah. Also, I did just want to note that like antitrust lawsuits are not unheard of, but it's a I feel like it's pretty rare. I believe Al Davis like sued the NFL like back in the day to move his team, but they're expensive, they're messy, and it could take years, possibly months or years, and it would be hard to prove that the WNBA is actually violating antitrust laws. But, we'll see. We'll see. The fact that a Connecticut senator is raising this as an issue shows how unusual this fight for the Sun has been, right? So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We're kind of in this weird mode. For the Connecticut Sun, and there's a lot of question marks about, okay, what happens now? What happens now? Because no one seems to really be happy about the situation. The WNBA is not really doing anything, and the question is, what's next? Well, for now, the Connecticut Sun are committed to playing the 2026 season at Mohegan Sun Arena. Beyond that, it's totally up in the air. The league's board of governors ultimately have the power to approve or deny any sale. And yeah, that's where we are. But people are not waiting quietly. Politicians are talking. Fans are, writing the team, writing the WNBA. Letters are going out. Petitions are going out. Social media campaigns are underway. Like, people are trying to do whatever they can to build up some local and national pressure on the WNBA. And for once, the WNBA is not just facing fan pushback, right? They're facing actual politicians and possible legal threats if it moves the team out of Connecticut. The saga is not just about one team. It's about who controls the future of women's basketball. Is it local communities and owners who have supported the game for decades? Is it states that love their team? Or is it the league office that wants to chase big market dollars? Connecticut fans and politicians have made their stance clear. The Sun belong in the basketball capital of the world. And now it's really a waiting game to see if the WNBA agrees or if the politicians have to take the fight to the courtroom. That's the spiel. That's the spiel. I wanted to actually start off the stream with this because I wanted to try not to get distracted and actually go through all the points and whatnot. And so I want to overall see what you all think about it. What do you all think? And also, when you think of WNBA and what the WNBA decides to do and what Kathy Engelbert decides to do, remember who Kathy's boss is. It's the other WNBA owners, and most importantly, it is the NBA. So the WNBA, they're not going to do anything that is not approved by the NBA. And so I just want that to be known. It's not all on Kathy because ultimately she has to report to somebody. All right? And the person that she has to report to, his name is Adam Silver. He is the commissioner of the WNBA, of the NBA. And so that's something to note. Susan says WNBA screwed up on this one. Quintus says, Kathy, what's in it for me? Here's the thing. I really do think it's more of a NBA thing, and she's just been told what to do. She's the face of it, but I don't know. I don't know if she totally is in charge of it. Not Your Average 10K says, not gonna lie, the more I think about it, they are doing the Sun dirty because that would destroy the history and culture of what Connecticut has built. Never mind, keep the team and wait until the WNBA grows. Stern12, thank you so much for the super chat, says the W's inability to get a good headline is amazing. I mean, I just think they're stepping in this one. They're stepping in it. But it is what it is, unfortunately. L. Kune says, I wish I had some money to solve all this. The NBA is hating on the W. I don't think they're hating on. They're trying to control the W because they're trying to, in the long run, make a ton of money. And I think they're betting, speculation, but I think they're betting that if we give the team to Houston, in the long run, the team will make more money and be more economically successful than the team in Connecticut. That's my thoughts there. And then the reason for not allowing Boston to get it is, I think Boston in the long run would make more money than Houston, I think. But they want more money out of Boston in the future, and they want the Boston Celtics actually involved. Like the current majority ownership group in Boston, they want them involved in a Boston Celtics team. They don't want to move the team to Boston and it's the former minority owner that's in charge of it. They want the current majority owner in charge of the Boston Celtics. I think that's why. Speculation, but that's my thoughts. Tariq says, if Cleveland and Portland are getting teams back, Houston definitely deserves another one. They just don't want to wait their turn. Yeah, because they'll be waiting for a long time. Yeah. And they don't want to wait. Kevin says, sorry for derailing the broadcast, but where can I get your shirt from? Unfortunately, I don't think you can't buy it on online. So this shirt was a giveaway shirt. At the last Sky game, this was the giveaway shirt. It's a Chicago Sky soccer shirt. It was a giveaway, and so I got to the game super early, so I could get this shirt. They didn't have it wasn't for everybody. It was like the first X amount of people who showed up to the game could get it. And so I got there like an hour and 15 minutes early, just so I can get this shirt. I'm sorry. My man says, when you drop your voice and mumble, we can't hear you. I'm sorry. I do that quite a bit, and I apologize for that. I am trying to work on that, but sometimes I miss. Carmela says, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Awesome people of the internet. Let's get Quita to 100K subs. That would be amazing. Amazing. Connie says, why is the owner wanting to sell the Sun? Well, I think it's for a combination of reasons. One, just the baseline for the WNBA has gone up, and the Connecticut Sun are struggling to compete with what players want. Players want a nice practice facility. Players just want additional amenities. And right now, the Mohegan Tribe is unable to fulfill that without either some additional cash to support that, the building of additional infrastructure for what the players want, or or they want to just sell the team and completely get out of the game and just cash out. And so it seems like they're open to both, either a injection of investment, which is what the state of Connecticut is proposing to do with the pension funds, or it's an outright sell of the team. But the Mohegan Tribe has admitted that, hey, we just can't do it. We can't do it all on our own. We can't give the players exactly what they want all on our own. We do need help, or we need to get out of the game. And I appreciate that. I appreciate an ownership group basically being willing to admit that, because sometimes you just don't have it. Sometimes you just can't meet the demands. And I do think that maybe that's something that other teams should seriously think about. If you cannot meet the demands of these players, if you cannot, ensure that you're creating a really nice practice facility and you're giving them all these amenities that they want, right? If you can't hit the new baseline of the WNBA, you either need to ask for additional investment or you need to get out of the game. And I really, really, really suggest other WNBA teams to seriously think about that. Seriously think about that. Either get a massive investor or get out of the game. Okay, I think we all know who I'm talking about. I think we all know. Okay. Just saying. Yeah, the Tribe are not billionaires. And if you notice, there's a lot of billionaire owners in the WNBA. It's a whole lot. Just saying. Okay? Okay. Now, that's the story. Thank y'all for listening. Hopefully that was helpful for you. And also, guys, did y'all tell me what's in the water? Did y'all say that? But if y'all did, thank you. So Mama can read what's in the water. Mama, she went on a rant yesterday. She was like, she had a long day. She was like, what is in the water? She's like, cause sometimes the brain cells just ain't working. Like common sense is not working. The brain cells aren't working. Like stuff that should be normal is not normal. What is going on with you? Like what's going on with people? Like it feels like everybody is just, not everybody, but like it feels like a lot of people are just going bonkers. And like stuff is not common. Like I don't know. Common sense is not common. Things are just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Janera says, where's Mama? She's probably watching right now. She usually watches the show. So she sees your responses. Well, yeah, Tisha, that's always in the water. Oh man. All right, Vic says he's ready for Unrivaled. Well, let's quickly talk about Unrivaled real quick. I don't have time for the full story, but I do have time for the headline. Is that the WNBA said no to Unrivaled. The WNBA was offered an opportunity to partner, to invest, to do something with Unrivaled, and they said no. And now Unrivaled is worth way more than what it originally was supposed to be. It's kind of amazing how in 1 year things can change like that. Right? So now they already have the future of Unrivaled kind of solidified with the partnerships and NIL deals that they have with current college players. They already have their most recent Series B round of investment that was, oversubscribed and led to a valuation of $340 million. Literally. Unrivaled. Something to note. We're gonna give this the breadth and depth that it deserves tomorrow, because like I did a deep dive with Connecticut Sun, we're about to do it for Unrivaled. But important things for you all to know: in just 1 year, in just 1 year, the unrivaled valuation, $340 million. You all know, we just talked about how much Boston and Hartford are willing to pay for the Connecticut Sun, $325 million. The fact that in 1 year, a 3-on-3 league is valuated. Now, valuated does not mean that valuations are valuations. It doesn't mean an actual like sale, whatever. But the fact that it's valuated at $340 million more than what the Connecticut Sun are possibly going to be sold for in 1 year. And this is 3-on-3. And the WNBA had an opportunity to get in the game early. Missed opportunity. Now, we don't know what the future of Unrivaled holds. We don't know whether or not this is going to end up continuing to be a soaring success or if it'll go down. We don't know. But signs indicate that this is going to be a success for the long term. And the numbers are going to keep going up and up and up and up and up. And I got to say, guys, this looks like an L for the WNBA. Because you could have turned Unrivaled from being a competitor, which I view Unrivaled as a competitor. I know some people do not. It's a competitor. It just is. It's a competitor. They compete for the same employees and they compete for basically the same audience. It happens at different times of the year, but same employees, same audience. They're a competitor. You could have turned Unrivaled into a complimentary thing for the league instead of a competitor. So, yeah. Anyway, that's that. We're going to talk about it more tomorrow. Guys, yesterday we did have a game on. Unfortunately, I did not watch it because I was watching the Bears. I was very excited about the Bears, and they look good. Caleb Williams looked great early on. And then as the game went on, he just kind of was sad. It was bad news Bears. It was bad news Bears yesterday, but I did see ultimately the numbers. The Atlanta Dream did take down the Connecticut Sun, 87-62. I did not watch the game, so therefore I cannot give actual commentary about it. But Atlanta did win. Today we do have a couple of games. We have the Washington Mystics versus the New York Liberty, the Minnesota Lynx versus the Indiana Fever. Nafisa is not playing in today's game. We have the Sky versus the Aces. Angel is listed as questionable, so we'll see what happens on if she plays today. We have the LA Sparks versus the Phoenix Mercury, and we have the Golden State Valkyries against the Seattle Storm. So these are the games that are happening later today. We'll see ultimately what happens. Guys, I do want to say thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you for your support of this channel. Did y'all enjoy? Did you appreciate? Did you at least somewhat like the deep dive that we did about the Connecticut Sun? Was that interesting? Is that more of stuff that you want to see? I'm curious to hear what you all have to say about it. And again, I really do appreciate this platform I have with the ability to kind of just showcase what I'm interested in, right? I'm interested in random deep dives. I'm interested in the specific stuff that's happening in the WNBA with players and teams and all that good jazz. Like I'm interested in all that stuff. And this is an opportunity on this channel to just kind of talk about it. And yes, I don't get to everything. But my hope is that like this continues to build and eventually I have more time to invest in this. And I can just really continue to build this and make this the best thing possible. But yeah, I really appreciate y'all. Thank you. I got to get to work. So y'all have a good one. Y'all be productive today. Today's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day because you're alive today. And why not make today the greatest day possible? Guys, when you talk to people, tell somebody that they matter because they really, really do. If no one has told you recently, well, let me tell you guys, you matter. You are important. And I'm very, very happy you are on this earth, guys. I love you. I really do. This is a community that I love. I love the awesome people on the internet. We are like white on rice. We are connected. We are together, and I appreciate y'all so much. Yeah, love you. But most importantly, guys, Jesus loves you, and he wants a relationship with you. That's the only thing that actually, truly, truly matters. Guys, I'm gonna enjoy my Sky soccer shirt. This is an extra large. I don't know why for giveaways they only have extra large, and like this is not a size. Like this is not a. I'm not saying anything about whatever, but like size wise, I think you should at least have 2 sizes. My personal opinion, you should have extra large and you should have medium. In general, my opinion, because I feel like that can get more of the breadth of the sizes that people wear. But I don't care how big this is. I'm wearing it because I like it. So anyway, y'all have a good one. Thank y'all so much. And wait, let me find my exit. All right. See y'all in the next one. Bye bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set.